What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Jack of All Trades, a weekly podcast for you to digest where there will always be a special guest. I'm not going to hold you on this Love After Lockup review, so let's go ahead and get right into it.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, what's going on?
Girl, this finale.
I know, right? Girl.
It should be called what does Steph say? Left, right, good night. I was like, oh, here they go.
Steph had all the sayings, but yes,
You know I love a good slang, honey, okay?
Yes.
Love a good one-liner.
We are back for the Life After Lockup finale recap, season 4, episode 50. I do, I don't. How'd you think the season went, friend?
I feel like they've done better. I've seen better from WeTV.
Okay.
What about you?
I personally enjoyed it. I actually thought it was one of the best Life After Lockup seasons since like the Michael Sarah Maria days.
Agree, and that's only because of Derek and Monique.
I mean, yeah, for the most part. Some folks got a little bit more active towards the end. But yeah, Derek and Monique put in a lot of footwork to get us to where we are.
Agree. Totally agree. I feel like they could have ended. I don't know. Some of it was expected. I guess some of it wasn't. Put it like that.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. So, which one of these folks would you like to talk about for the last time this season?
Girl, Brittany and Marcelino.
You're right. Let's get that out of the way. Because
it was a cute little ceremony, but I don't want to see them no more. I'm sick of them.
Girl, I mean,
and from the way it ended, looks like there's nothing to see. So yeah, good.
Exactly. I literally, of all of the 2 hours of television programming that they put on our screens, I have 2.5 lines for them because I was truly tired.
Per you.
Okay. So the few things I do have called out are that Brittany's mom comes to visit, and once again, I'm a bit concerned about what she might have going on. I don't know if it was me, but I don't know if her longtime addiction just kind of gives her
went away. All that look.
Yeah, those mannerisms. I don't know.
You know what? Let's say this. They have both had a very hard life. Very, very hard. Like from childhood. Because remember Brittany's grandmother, who we hated, that just recently passed away.
Yeah.
So, I have to keep that in mind. Like, it's been a lot. It's been a lot going on for both of them over the year.
This is true. You're right. I'm like, I don't want to lead with this, but I just couldn't help but notice it. Like after, watching the episode a couple times, I'm like, like what's up with her mom again? And then they have this vow renewal on the beach. It's nice. The kids are there. Family's there. But then before we can even get warm and fuzzy about it, Brittany's telling us that Marcelino cheated again. She found messages from other women in his phone. They're separated again. And, again, I watched this a few different times. And I will say it was really sad to see how kind of broken Brittany was about it, and that ultimately we just kind of keep seeing the cracks in their marriage being exposed. Like they've been,
and because it's Marcelino's fault. Like you pursued this with her. You pursued Brittany from inside of prison. You took that plate. We didn't forget Marcelino when you took that plate from in front of her while she was eating.
Right.
And you were adamant about, I want a wife. I want a family. I want kids. She gave you everything you asked for, and you still want to act a fool? Typical nigga shit, but whatever. So, and like I said, Brittany has been through a lot. She's been through a lot of stuff that would have broke me. Let's be clear. I would have been I would have been on crack too, okay, and meth and whatever else after all that stuff she went through. So, but I didn't like that he did that, but I do like good for Brittany for sticking to what the fuck she said too. If I said what I said was a person, it's Brittany. Like big ups to her for sticking to that shit and leaving. And I want her to stay. I want them to stay separated.
So she did leave when she said she would leave. I think, though, over the journey of their relationship, I will say there have been a couple of things that I feel like Brittany could have avoided or not really impressed upon their relationship that maybe wouldn't have like accelerated this behavior, because I feel like Marcelino started to look at Brittany differently after the threesome and, you know, her hanging on to these relationships that she should have left in the past. But I think it's sad to see it, but it is also annoying because we're tired of seeing it as the cycle, you know, that it's becoming. Like, figure y'all shit out.
Figure it out. But I think too, just like Sarah from Sean and Sarah,
let's move on. Let's move on.
But it's like y'all, they had these rough lives, like being on drugs. So I'm like, do I gotta be on drugs to get a husband? Because
girl,
what the fuck?
You might have to have something be wrong with you sometimes.
I swear.
Yes.
That's usually what the married women say too. Like, girl.
Right, like either you're like a princess, you know, bride, or it's something wrong with you, and you might need that companionship to get through what you're going through. So, yeah, perfect segue right on into Sean and Sarah. So, you know, I couldn't help but chuckle. You know, now that Sarah has made sure that her baby knows who her father is, she said, all right, let's get right back on track. It's time to get these titties.
Yep. Let's not get distracted, boys.
Right. Stay focused.
Yes.
So she's like, all right, it's the day of. They're up in the morning. You know, baby's having breakfast. Baby passes gas like a grown man.
Ooh, baby. She let it out. She said, fuck these cameras. Right. My stomach hurt, and I mean, this ass gonna feel better, okay?
Yes. So, you know, they're heading out, but Sean still feels away now that Anthony's in the picture. He feels like, you know, that fuels his suspicions regarding why she wants to have her boobs done. And he's also still mad at her mom because she lied to him, basically, you know, and by definition, about not knowing what was going on with Anthony.
Yeah, but I'm with mom. Get over it.
Right. So
get over it.
They go to mom's house to drop the baby off, and Sean is acting like he doesn't want to talk to her mom. He doesn't get out of the car. And so her mom is like, you know, don't nobody want to talk to you anyway. You need to make sure that you do right by my daughter.
Girl, mom don't give a fuck. Okay.
Okay. She told him, get over it, like you said, and 100% agree with her. Like, Sean, all the lies you told, come on now.
You mad because somebody who has no loyalty, like didn't, you know, wasn't as forthcoming with you as you felt they should have been. No, right. Loyalty is not to you, it's to her daughter.
Right. And even Sarah said that, like, you cannot be mad at her because I told her to lie. She told me to tell you the truth. I'm the one that told her how to run the place. So don't be mad at her because she did what I asked her to do. And furthermore, Sean, you are a grown-ass man. Like, her mama is damn near your peer. You should be able to talk it out with that woman.
Or not, accept it and keep it moving.
Right. Like, if you don't want to talk to somebody, because don't get me wrong, I feel like that's something I've experienced in my life where, you know, parents, in-laws don't always get along.
Girl, yeah.
Don't go around. Like, be like, go drop her off. And go run an errand or something, you know. But for you to just sit there in the car looking at them, looking stupid, like, she called you a little bitch and she meant that shit.
Meant it.
So from there, she goes and gets the procedure done. And afterwards they head home, and we have this small moment where we are reminded that Sarah had substance abuse issues with pills in the past because they got her on a few things to numb the pain.
Girl, volume.
Right.
Volume. That don't numb the pain, though. It's just kind of, calm you down and help you sleep. But
oh, child.
I felt like she literally just walked out of surgery, though. Relax. Look, from experience, you need that after you did had these, they did cut your breasts open, okay?
Yes.
Let her have that volume. That volume came in handy even weeks later, okay? Mm-hmm. So leave her alone. And she still was in mom mode, fresh out of surgery. She still couldn't really rest like she needed to. She shouldn't have got out the car to go in the house to get the baby.
Right.
But she did. She's still talking about, should we make her a bottle? And you still can't even function independently because you sitting here talking about, you can't even get a baby a bath after you done had 15,000 kids. Right. You still got questions. I just put the soap on the rag, right? Ain't that how you wash your body? I literally just walked out of surgery and you're still asking me questions. Bro. So don't talk to me about no goddamn value. Matter of fact, give me another one.
Right.
Shit.
Right. And his head is still, it's all worried about the wrong things. Oh, what about Sarah and these pills? Or, oh, is she doing this for Anthony? I'm going to need you to focus on what's right in front of you. Your wife, your baby, your household. Do what you need to do. Get it done.
Like that Eric Mays voiceover on TikTok. Y'all better focus.
Yes. Yes. So that's it for them. It's annoying.
Another one. We can go into Lindsay and Blaine too.
Oh, girl. Let's
line them up.
Move right along. So, you know what I feel like this season with Lindsay and Blaine, coming to the end of it, I have a sneaky suspicion that they had a deal with production or with the people that make this show. Because if you think back, over the whole season, they were always the first ones that they would show at the beginning of an episode. And I feel like we didn't see them cover more than 3 days of their lives, but somehow they were able to go through this season from top to bottom.
Stretch it out.
Right? And it's just what did y'all do or say or negotiate to get this type of, positioning on the show? Just annoying. Had to call that out. But anyways,
I agree.
We see from there, Blaine, he's airing her out to, production as he's throwing toilets and other random things into a fire that he's created in the backyard because he was pissed about the last argument that he had with Lindsay.
Country people stay with a little fire pit, girl. Look at me, want one. I'll try to see if I can give you one.
I mean, for peaceful, chill moments, not to burn clothes and random things.
No. Just an aesthetic.
Right? Because he's out there I was taking care of her, who was, putting clothes on her back, putting vapes and cigarettes in her mouth, And
I hate it. Dude, what? You could have kept that, bro, but okay.
Right? So he gets a call from Lindsay to basically come meet on the set because, neither one of them are staying at the house they share together. And I have determined that's just a place for y'all to come where the cameras are welcome. And it doesn't look like you all live in a dump because that trailer is not camera ready. So he's like,
or ready for nobody to live in it either.
Not livable at all. Right. So, the lawyer calls as Blaine has agreed, to go meet Lindsay back at the set. He's riding over there and the lawyer says that he has good news for him because he's been paying up on his restitution and on top of all of his obligations from a legal standpoint, that he can get Blaine off of tether for about 3 G's. he says 3G's verbatim, and it's just like, I don't know if I want my lawyer to be using street vernacular.
Girl, they talk like they clients talk. They have to bring it. Girl, I heard a lawyer say he was asking the guy before they went into court. He was a public defender, and he was like, "They saying they got you at the house." He was like, "Yeah, but the lawyer was like, was it a bando?" And I looked, and the guy was like, "Yeah," like he was trying to describe it, and like the lawyer was already 2 steps ahead of him. He was like an Arab guy. He was like, "It was a bando." I was like, "Period, you better." So yeah, they know what kind of clients. He's a criminal, criminal lawyer. So This is what he do. He deal with these kind of people. So he talks like them.
Touche.
Mm-hmm.
So when they hang up, Blaine says he's bringing some blessings and some good news home to Lindsay. So what happens though when he gets there? Lindsay immediately on her bullshit again, and this is that shit.
So what I'm hearing is you did nothing. I was like, this bitch just like kicking it off.
And this is that shit I was talking about weeks ago. Like, this man cannot walk through that door before she starts going at it with him, and this shit is wild. Like, girl, who do you think wants to deal with this shit? Who?
No, nobody.
So, they argue about how Blaine is spending his money on himself and for his legal issues and restitution versus the household, right? And I'm like, I think I'd prefer that he spend the money to make sure that he can legally walk around these streets versus...
I know. She said out her mouth, stay on house arrest a little bit longer and you can help me with these bills. She said that out her mouth.
Right, which is crazy because it was like, meanwhile, you were mad that he got on house arrest to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always just like, do things the way that I want you to do them, the way that I see fit, because I want to struggle the least. And I want you to put out more effort. And I get wanting him to meet you halfway, but ultimately we've seen the way you move, Lindsay, and even Blaine has clocked you because
shady. Yeah, she's shady as fuck.
Right? So, he says that if he gives her money instead of putting it towards his situation, he's basically going to be back in prison. And then from there, he proceeds to read her down about how he picked her up. Okay. About how he picked her up from jail, about how she couldn't stay with Brenda because she didn't want her there, about how he gave her a job. And we did see that when she was dating Deontay. Blaine was the one.
I thought he was going to bring up Deontay.
Okay. And she was able to stay with him and worked with him. And then he also reads her down because she's talking about, well, had to get money, had to provide. And he was like, yeah, you realize things are harder on the outside and you aren't able to, just use your pretty little pussy to get money and have that sent home to your daughter when you're out on the streets.
I don't know. I felt like that was a low blow.
I mean, it was a little low, but it was no lies told. Okay.
It was no lies told. I was like, but he fed up. He's fed up.
Yes.
So,
and I mean,
as he should have read her. I don't have no notes on them. I'm sick of them and I'm glad it's over with.
Right. But it was right. I agree it was a low blow, but I feel like if we didn't have the actual footage of her being on this show as proof, maybe it would have hit a little differently, but it was very easy to know that everything he said was very true. She was in prison, getting with guys, getting money sent to her. Then she could send it to Miley Grace. And then when she got out, she made sure to get with people that was paying all her bills. And so what I noticed is Lindsay also made sure to be, a live tweeter and actively participate in the conversation online all season. Oh. And this past week or this past Friday, she was like, oh, I don't know a lot of women that would pay all these bills and hold it down. Like, for how long? And I'm like, girl, first of all, don't get me wrong. Like, there are a lot of women that make sure that a man is in a situation where he's the one paying all the bills and he's taking care of the finances, as they take care of the home or do whatever they have agreed to do within the terms of the relationship. But at the same time, there are also women that are like, if I'm going through a hard time with my man and I have to hold it down, then I'm going to do that. Like, you basically have been able to be locked up, get money from other people, get that money sent to Molly Grace while your grandmother takes care of her. Like, I don't think you really have the clearance yet to be talking about what women on the outside will or won't do quite yet.
Agreed. I agree.
So,
Yeah.
right. So from there, he tells her that she's quick to leave, not wrong. And she admits she's not good at relationships. And honestly, I think that was probably the biggest takeaway you could have this season, Lindsay. Please acknowledge that you need to work on your relationships. She said she's working on it. We know she's been through it. They both just want each other, it seems like, at this point. And, so they wind up getting it in. And she's, of course, plotting on a ring and saying she's going to propose by the end of the year if he doesn't. And that was it. And I'm just like, We TV, can we not ever again, please?
Right. Ever? Like ever?
That would be ideal. But that was the end of them. So where shall we go next? I feel like Justine and Michael are
Yep.
ripe for
We
the
can
picking.
low key get Amber and Puffy out the way before we get to them, or either one. Don't matter because they ain't had nothing too much either. It was just like a continuation of last week.
You know what? Yeah, I want to stick with this Justine and Michael because I feel like at least
Okay.
Amber
Absolutely.
and Puppy was a little spicier. This Justine and Michael. So Michael is getting ready for a show that Mocha booked, and he's in Vegas, and he's feeling nervous. And I feel like, paying close attention to this scene, I felt like it was a little bit of shade being thrown. He feels like this whole situation is a bit unprofessional. He doesn't know the venue, so he doesn't know how he's going to be able to work this stage. And I'm like, do you have a beef with Mocha and the way this is coming together?
I think so. Because how have you not gone? You didn't go to sound check. You didn't go to nothing. What if you had some dancers or something but you didn't ask? So I don't know. I don't know about putting it all on Mocha.
Right. Yeah. I think it's interesting because, he says things like, if I really was able to do what I wanted to do when I got out, I would have had like this big, huge production. He says there's going to be label scouts there and he wants to impress them. And I'm just like, so then why are you doing this with Mocha? Like, are you just doing it for him? Because, all this time has passed and this is what was expected of you. So I don't know. You could tell like that undertone there. It was clearly something that he was doing, not in the way that he would have wanted to do it.
Agreed.
So in addition to impressing these scouts while he's on the stage, he also wants to still infuse that re-proposal to Justine. From there, they head over and they get to this show, and it's like in a lounge, I guess you could call it. It
was given, lounge vibes.
Lots of couches, maybe like a bar in the back. Absolutely not packed by any means. Very chill. Super chill, right? So then Mocha kind of opens up the show and he jokes about how Justine doesn't like him. And I don't know.
Which I thought was that was some bitch ass shit.
It was bitch ass shit for sure. I don't know why Mocha was worried about Montana Mills appearing single, because as he takes the stage and starts to perform, we get a really good look at the crowd, and I don't know where those women are that are like young hot girls that I guess he wanted Michael to see, because the baddest and probably the youngest one in the building was Justine.
Yeah, agree.
I'm like, so you wanted him to appear single for whom? Like,
exactly. Not this audience you bought, but okay.
Right? I mean, you could have, it is Vegas. Let's be real. You could have done pool party, any sort of event. And even if this was the crowd, like, make sure it's a good night. It's packed, but ultimately you wanted to flex on television, make it seem like you had pull, because he's stressed how Vegas is my city, it's my stage. So
girl, somehow he proved how defiant he really like, and the crowd loved it. Like,
right, because Montana
okay, if you
Mills, he
wanna
goes,
fuck him, just say that.
Montana Mills rocks the stage. He proposes to Justine, and nobody has an issue with it except for Mocha. So he says, clearly I'm going to have to take a back seat because Michael is going to prioritize his relationship. And I'm like, okay, I guess if this is what it took for you to realize that, then cool. But ultimately, it doesn't sound like y'all need to work together regardless, because I think this proved what we have been saying all along. Like, Mocha, respect to you for being in the industry and sticking with it all these years, but ultimately you are indeed a dinosaur. Like, for you to think that this approach even is what was going to move some units for Michael, like, it lets me know you don't know what the new wave is. So Michael would probably be better off really going the route of the social media, the viral, formula, taking the fame of the show, continuing to book shows, and what are they doing actually that I saw they said? A media run where you're talking about like long distance relationships or being in a relationship with somebody that is incarcerated, doing speaking engagements, all that type of stuff. Like, you'd be better off gaining your fame and your fan base through that versus trying to work with Mocha, who want to act like, oh, you need to be single, and then put you in front of a bunch of old bitches. Come on. So
I'm over them too.
Right.
Like, I'm over Mocha, this bromance with Mocha and Montana Mills. I'm over it. I just want him and Justine to get married, have this baby, be happy, and that's it.
Right. Have a real wedding.
Yeah. Oh, no, I feel like they need to get a real house first. They need to go get married at the courthouse with all these kids they got.
They already married. Is a prison marriage?
Oh, they did. I forgot. Okay, so I just want them to go get a house. Like, yeah, they got to have another ceremony because they did get married down to the jailhouse. So.
Yes.
Okay, you're right. 10-4.
And hey, even Vegas is a great place for that. You can have like a really fancy Vegas chapel wedding, and it still will get the job done. So, yeah, I think they'll be okay. I think that the show has served them well. And Justine is the girl to get the job done. If you're going to be a rapper in a visible relationship, Justine fits the mold, So
she definitely does, because I'm like, no, I need to see where the duck is coming from. I can't just, trust no nigga like that. But he's been taking care of business, so I don't know. Best of luck to him, though. I will say that.
Yes, yeah, and I think they'll be good. And then moving right on to Amber and Puppy and Friends, we pick up where we left off with TC pulling up as the girls are packing up. The guys have gotten all the appliances and bigger items out, and they're gone. But Puppy and Queen are helping to pack up the closet. So when TC comes in, Queen looks like she wants to get active right then and there. Like, yeah, TC, ASAP. What's up? What's going on?
Talk to me. What's up?
Okay. But Amber gets them to go and take care of the closet. So Amber is telling TC why she's leaving, and again pouring her heart out. And at one point he yawns, and I personally probably would have lunged at him at that moment. Like, how?
Oh, baby, baby, you hear me? Turned into a Tasmanian devil.
Like, how dare you? So they argue about his lack of support and the crazy shit that he has said to her as of late. And she talks about how she's getting everything out. She's getting things out of her name, bills out of her name. They got to figure out what to do with that truck. And that's the only thing that seemed to really get a rise out of him. Was talking about that truck. And from there, things get pretty heated, and they have a full-on argument. And he's talking about how you put 5,000 on that truck.
And so did she.
And so did she, right? So she's like, I need to get it out of my name then. And, she's also kind of, again, just pouring her heart out. She's telling him ultimately, like, if you don't want me, then don't talk to me. And he's all over there on some, whatever, I'm over it, type of energy. And she starts to kind of freak out, have a bit of a panic attack. She goes where the girls are. She goes with Queen and Puppy. Puppy is yelling at Queen like, get her a cigarette.
Girl, y'all take her. She goes in the bathroom. Y'all follow her in there. All of y'all in there. She like, I need a second. Like, she needs some air.
Right.
And they're like crowding around. I'm like, yeah, I ought to start swinging on everybody. Get the fuck back.
Right. So TC, off with production, he talks about his inability to emote. And it seems like he's on something almost, right? Like, did you have a couple beers before you got here? Like, what's going on with you,
or
TC?
he just got off work. He's probably tired.
Okay, you're right.
And then you came home to this. Like, girl, I know I'll be sitting there looking defeated and mad and want to kill everybody in the house.
Yeah. So fair enough. But so Amber comes out and they finally have this emotional conversation about the baby, about the termination. And as he expresses his emotions, Amber kind of finally embraces him and, says it's okay. It's okay to have feelings. She tells him she loves him and they can still be friends.
Better than me.
Right. I'm like, she was making it seem like, she's like, oh, I know you love me. I'm like, does he, girl? Like, I wouldn't make any.
He does not.
Yeah.
Just be done. He does not.
Right. I wouldn't have made any assumptions in that moment. I also really didn't agree. Like, he was like, it's just hard with emotions because they don't go away. And she said, they'll go away if you talk about them. I'm
when
like,
you deal with them.
I was like, I don't feel like they go away, but I do think it is healthy to express things. And then once you talked about them, then it doesn't hurt the same way. And TC's whole theory of just keeping them bottled up, like, this is why you acting like this. Because you don't deal. Yeah. So that's really the end of them. And then, Amber keeps it moving on with Queen and Puppy from there. So.
And she needs real therapy, not Puppy and Queen.
Right. I feel for her for coming so far and then thinking that, like, she was changing her life for love. And then this is what it wound up being. But ultimately, as much as I heard her talking about bills in my name, trucks in my name, these are my things, like, girl, was it love or did this man need for you to help him get his life on track?
That's exactly what it was. I think it was business for both of them. Like, well, no, I think she really liked him and loved him, but him, and he's older than her, correct?
I'm not sure. I never caught his age.
But he's the one with the kids and their boys. He needed help.
Yeah.
Period. He needed help.
Mister.
Girl. Yeah, okay. I'm over it.
Right. Okay, so where shall we go next?
We got Monique. Oh, let's do Chance and Taylor. Let's get them out the way.
Alrighty.
I don't have much on them. It's another continuation. And it's like we know what the end result is going to be because they're still together. But yeah, I'm kind of over them too.
Yes, Taylor and Chance. So at this point, they start to stress about how ultimately Chance has been drinking. It's been getting out of control. He stayed with the friend. The friend reads him down the next day like, you
get your shit.
Okay.
I gotta go to work.
First of all, gather your things because you got to get out of here. You were out of control last night. You need to get some counseling. You need to get some stability. You need to stop treating your baby mama like that if you want to get married. And, it was a very proper reading. I'm glad that he was able to do it because Chance thinks that he can get wasted off of 12 shots and it's not going to be noticeable. And it's like, why would you think that? So, but okay, so hear me out and help me, like maybe talk me off the ledge. Part of me was also like, don't get me wrong. If you're admitting you're an alcoholic, please admit that. Be honest with yourself and others about that. But I almost felt like he was using that as his excuse because everything else in life has been shit. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Because at first it was gambling, and then it was talking to the women, and now it's alcohol. Like, I don't know, maybe he's just a shit person, and it feels like every time he brings up another one of his problems, I'm like, is this the worst one you have? Or
because how did this narrative change to him being an alcoholic? Like, no,
right.
You're a liar, a manipulator, and not a good person, period.
Thank you. I thought I was the only one that was like, right, because it was a certain kind of empathy that almost started to come along with the storyline. Now they're playing softer music, as we're talking to Chance, and it's like, no, this motherfucker still ain't shit. I don't care how drunk you're getting. It's on top of all this other shit that you've been doing. That even if you stop drinking, all of those things still need to change too. So, yeah. Okay, you picked up on what I did.
That's what you was putting down.
Yeah.
I picked up what you was putting down.
Because I'm like, I'm not about to be like, oh, poor Chance, he did all of these things because of his alcohol. No, because some of that shit, first of all, he's not even supposed to be drinking. And it doesn't seem like he was really drinking that much at first. And he was still on bullshit then. So it's not the root of all the issues that he's had. Like, he's just, for the most part, like trash all around.
That's it. And that's why I'm like, that's the narrative I'm rolling with, period. Not this spinning this alcoholic shit.
Right. So he gets back to his truck. He drives around until nightfall, and then he calls Taylor, apologizing. And, he admits then that apparently Tanya has basically been something like a sponsor in his life.
And she was giving sponsor vibes.
Yes.
But that's not what you tried to cut up. And that's what you tried to use her to make Taylor jealous.
Right.
Chance.
Right. That's what he was always doing. And it's like, again, how dare you use someone who is basically trying to tell you to get your shit together to try to make your girl jealous. And we even saw it in real time when Tanya was trying to make sure he was straight in the bathroom, not in there, trying to rub up on him or anything. And he's in there talking about, oh, you're going to make her jealous. And it's like, why do you want to make Taylor jealous so much?
Because he a terrible person. He's toxic. He's a narcissist. He is a bitch. Like, he is D, all of the above. I don't like it. And Taylor does not deserve that. But at this point, she does, because she keeps taking him back.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't like him. I'm tired of their narrative, and I would rather not see them either.
Yeah.
No more.
So Taylor lets him in the house. He hops in the bed in his clothes from yesterday. The dog's in there too. So we know their house was nasty till the end.
Yeah.
Chance finally admits that he's on a seasonal layoff, which we've learned from Blaine, is a thing. And he says that he's going to do what it takes to be better. And of course, Taylor's forgiving, but she does remind him that she shouldn't have to put up with it. And they should have never been depending on him solely to begin with, because like she says, she was doing better as a single mother. And if a man is fresh out of jail trying to take over the household, that's really a red flag, because I mean, if you weren't married to this man before he went and did a bid and now he's back home, what proof has he given you that he's going to know how to manage your household effectively? Like,
well, Cameron doing it.
But even then, it's but you know what?
Michael's doing it.
Barely. Come on.
I know. I know. But this is the expectation they put on them.
Yeah. But you know what? I guess. But okay. So Eris still works though, that we know of, right?
Yes, Eris works. Justine
quit her job too. See,
Yeah.
right? So it's a few people, honestly, that this applies to. It's not just a Taylor Chance thing. I don't know why some of these people feel the need to have a man fresh out of prison come home and take over the
I'm
household.
telling you why. I told you why, Jackie, for the longest, because they sit on that phone and talk, and these are they stay on the phone like, oh, when I come home, I'm gonna take care of everything. You ain't gotta worry about it no more. And yeah, when they get out, the girls are like, yeah, nigga, I'm tired. I've been spent all my money sending it to you, visiting and carrying on. It's your turn.
Girl.
These are conversations that they've had. They might be unrealistic, but these are conversations that they've had.
We would have to have more of a transition period, because the way these people quit their jobs overnight, like...
Because I'm sure Derek told Monique he was going to get out and be faithful.
Girl,
So,
are we there?
we almost there, baby. Because, yeah, it's just what they do.
Monique and Derek, aka Derek.
Girl, they irritated me this episode.
Very much so, right? Super irritating. And you know how timely was what you just said. I mean, so many prison lies told and applied to a relationship on the outside, and now we've escalated it to an engagement based off of what? You know, like nothing has been proven in this relationship to be worth an engagement.
You just was in bitch's DM last night. Last fucking night, bro.
12 hours ago. Not even 24. 12 hours ago. So Derek calls Monique from his hotel because he got kicked out the night before because he was in bitch's DMs. And he says that he wants to meet her alone. No sisters, no godmom, none of that. So
nobody who could talk sense into her.
Right. And Monique, I don't know why she looked like she was fully dressed but tucked in the bed. It was a little weird, but I mean, we know how it goes with them. So she agrees
because
to meet.
That's not her house.
Right. She's on set, get in the bed, make it seem like you're relaxing. So Monique takes a couple hours to meet him. And do they meet at, is it Millennium Park?
Maggie Daly Park. But yes, all of it is a park. Yes.
Is it all the same stretch of park?
Yes.
Okay. So they was at the park in the city. And
they was downtown.
Right. And it's ridiculous that a proposal is being planned at this point. It's just like, this relationship is so full of shit. So they meet up and, you know, they talk about the night before. She's upset, of course. She's humiliated. And he agrees that he's going to stop sleeping with his phone in his drawers. He's going to give Monique his password. And, you know, she's still not feeling it. And she says, really?
Because niggas love to say that.
Right?
You ain't going to do nothing to change it. Like, I don't want your password. See, Monique get off on going through his phone.
Yes.
She shouldn't have to do it at all. Like, y'all need to get to that point. But see, he knows what to say.
Yeah.
To get her. That giving that password to the phone, that's music to her ears. Anything where she can go through his phone and have access to his phone, he knew what to say to her.
Yes. Yeah. And it's such a baby step. Like, that should be so bare minimum in relation to the things y'all really need to work on in your relationship. But yeah, that was so easy, and it was low hanging fruit. It was like, you know, the breadcrumb that he needed to win her over and to just keep her talking to him in this moment. But she does say that ultimately she still came out to meet him to end things and break up. She's still confused. So, of course, he's like, you know, men, you know, sucking his teeth, all that shit. So then they walk over to the ice rink. And, you know, she, of course, says,
I'm not skating. Derek, you knew she wasn't going to be doing no skating there, sweetie. Come on now.
Right. I'm like, let's have a moment. Let's just take a moment now. You know me. I mean, oh, gosh, nobody is here to fat shame, body shame, none of that shit. Because I'm a big bitch myself. But guess what? I get active, like literally, you know, do workouts.
Girl, you're more active
in.
than me. That walking alone, I'll be like, can we please take an Uber? Can we drive?
Right? So it doesn't have to only be like a size thing, but Derek, you need to know who you're with. Like, it just looks that much goofier when he does things that, don't get me wrong, would actually be pretty cool if he had somebody who was willing to go ice skating with him and they were able to do a little lap around the rink, but you got this girl that is going to be sitting on the sidelines. You need to know that.
Yeah. I don't ice skate. Like, I'm not doing it. I hate it. I hate being cold. And it's cold here. This is Chicago. Yeah. Like, it's cold. Yeah. First of all, you know what blew me, honey? It was that, I don't know what kind of, when she got out the Uber, it was either a Michael Kors or a Coach bag, or, I hate them. I was like, here we go.
I didn't like the bag. Shit. I don't, I feel I found some cute Coach bags, but I've never had any Michael Kors. God. That, they're always basic, no real logo.
Teenagers and old people.
Well, no, like my little Coach bag, it's been cute or whatever. But
I'm cool.
But it's not every day.
Older lady at work. I have always not liked Coach Michael Kors, none of that. So this lady at work, she argued me down like, that stuff is expensive, and it is. I get it. It's just it's a brand I don't like. I don't care for it. And she asked me one day, like, here, can you go to the car and get my umbrella for me? I was like, yeah, I got you. Give me your keys. Mm-hmm. It's a Coach umbrella. I said, what the fuck you got me carrying this shit in here for, girl? She was like, I got your ass. I knew how to get you. I was like, all right, fine.
You don't even want it touching your hands.
Girl, I don't want to be seen carrying it, pooching through the door with it. People think it's mine. No.
Oh, gosh. You know me. I'm more of a materials girl than a brand girl. Like,
understood. I know. It's just my thing. I don't know why. It just is.
Well,
it's weird.
In all fairness, I didn't like the bag she had either.
And boom.
Like, I didn't care what brand it was. None of that. I just didn't like the way it looked. And it was also like, Monique is just so simple. I don't know how else better to say it. She just seems like such a fucking bird. Like, did you ask what you were going to be doing? Did you ask what might be required? No, you just put on your same I'm a bad big bitch outfit. Didn't ask where you going, what might be happening. Put your wig and your lashes on, bring your purse, and that's it. Like, she just shows up, gives you a look. They have a dead ass conversation. She's on my nerves, she's been on my nerves for a long time.
Every time.
So as he's getting his life, learning how to ice skate, she's just kind of standing off to the side like a mom, telling him to be careful. So then he comes over to her by the fence and he proposes. He gets down on one ice skate and she says yes and forgets about all the bullshit that happened just as recently as the day before. Monique said, "Joke's on you hoes. I'm keeping my man. You know what? I've done it, but god damn, I don't think I could do it on TV. Like, you're not gonna play with me on TV, but okay. I mean,
and you just got caught last night. Like,
right. No. And also, I mean, I get it being on TV and taking him, or I get taking a man back, but a proposal, dog, like, you've been going through it with this man. Nothing seems to have been working out. You don't trust him. And even her reasoning, like, she says that, he melts her heart and he's so inviting. I'm just like, girl, you haven't said anything worth a damn. You haven't said this man is going to be a provider. You clearly, things are not good from a family perspective. Like, it's just,
baby, I will get real blind to the bullshit. Okay, if Derek was sending some money, paying bills, hell, I have a whole new body. Okay, fucking with him. Oh, you want to put me through it? Like, it would be that. But Monique, he doesn't even do any of these things. But she did say he tells her, like, you're beautiful just the way you are. And I think it's that's what got Monique. Like, he makes her feel good as a person.
Yep.
And I had to, it's so crazy. I just had this conversation with a guy at work, and women, we're gonna go with what makes, especially at this age in our 30s, we're gonna deal with who makes us feel good.
Yeah.
So it just is what it is, and I think that's why she deals with Derek, because he knows what to say.
So you make very valid points
To her.
Yeah,
I mean.
and that is what she said. But it's frustrating because the words and the actions don't match up, and people can say whatever. It doesn't mean that they're going to act right. But because he said it, that's all she needed. That's all it takes for her. And it's frustrating because, okay, and then am I wrong? Like, did he not put that ring on the wrong hand?
Girl, and was gassing her up, talking about, dude, come on, pop your shit. You know how y'all girls do, flex your. And I see that, I love a good gassing, okay? Like, you better put this gas me up, baby. But, I don't know. Like, I'm not finna be, you were just in another bitch DM hours ago, bro. I'm not finna just be sitting here flexing my hand like this. Get the fuck out my face.
Right. So, yeah, it was definitely just frustrating to see that despite what you said, which is true, she's going with the guy that makes her feel good, that says things that she wants to hear, but who is not actively treating her right, on a day-to-day. It was just frustrating to see her fall for that shit and be like, oh, I'm not leaving my man for you hoes. Get over it. I'm like, okay, well.
And look at me. Bye. I get the bye. Runaway bride. Bye.
Right? All right. Truly last and least, honestly, I would say the true MVPs of the season, quietly, Eris and Cam.
Girl.
From a full package perspective.
Because, baby, Cam, I like him. But this episode, he lost 100. City Boy is down 100 points with me.
He took like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but yeah.
No, that was a big step for me. It was 100 to me. I don't play that shit, what he did in that restaurant, okay?
Yeah. So America's favorite sisters have pulled up in Tampa. Steph and Kia have come to visit Cam and Eris and the fam. So they get to the house and Eris is out picking up dessert for the night, and they are concerned that this is a pattern. But Cameron finally tells the truth about the welcome home party and the fact that she wasn't feeling good. And then they're like, child, you had us thinking she just didn't rock with us. Like, if we would have known that she didn't feel well, we would not have been tripping. And this kind of leads into a conversation where they talk about Cameron's drinking. Eris also didn't want to come because she didn't want to see him drunk. And he just feels like he can do whatever he wants. He feels like, if you think I shouldn't be drinking, don't bring the alcohol around me. His sister is like, you don't always have to drink right away. Like, you don't have to indulge just because I put a bottle in front of you. You can put the bottle on the bar. So ultimately it's like I've been saying, Cam just needs to work on not feeling like he can do whatever he wants and that he has no accountability to others. So, he needs to.
Yeah, because everything is, I can do this, I can do that. And it's a issue. One of the issues is, like, Cam steady wants accolades for things that he's doing.
Yeah.
Which to me are things you're supposed to be doing. So with that, I'm with Steph. Relax.
Yes.
Like, I came home, I got a job, I work. Nigga, you were supposed to do that. The fuck? Like, okay, yes, kudos to you, but it's not gonna be because I did the right thing. Y'all supposed to not care if I fuck up. Like, no, nigga, it don't go like that.
Right, exactly.
But I do think that the pressures of being the provider and doing right is getting to him. Same thing with Chance.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just on better footing. He's not a dipshit like Chance, but
the difference between Cam and Chance is that Cam is not in denial. He takes accountability and he's going to talk to the lady. I like that.
Yes, he did
I like
say
that.
He's working on some treatment.
Yeah, I always said I think, all releasees and parolees should be mandated to go to therapy for at least 6 months after they release.
Yeah. And that's a minimum,
But
child.
at minimum. And it would teach you how to like deal with the things that you think are okay, that might not be okay to society, to the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
world. Yeah,
It
that
can
yellow.
catch you up on what's happening in the world in ways that other people might not give you that opportunity. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it can kind of fast forward you in life, because we look at the Derricks, right? All of these people that have done years on years, you are no
Hmm.
longer the person you were when you first went in. The world is no longer like that. So how can we bring you
Hmm.
into the moment while also like giving you some skills to show up in your everyday life well? So that's probably
Agreed.
another topic for another day, child. Recidivism. So yes,
Yeah.
Steph says that he should come back to Ohio because he's being a loose cannon and he needs adult supervision. She says, we the adults. Her and Kia.
And
So
no, he needs to stay
right.
right down there where he is. Like y'all
Yes.
saw how he's living. It's clearly better than it would be if he was living in Ohio. So stop it.
Right. Yes. So right, it felt like she was being maybe somewhat facetious, but ultimately they want the best for Cam. They want him to do right wherever he is, whatever he's doing, progress. Don't turn into an alcoholic. It's Kia says it's not very becoming, okay, to be in them cups like that. So, he admits to pissing in the closet, being pissy drunk the other night.
Oh, baby.
And he's embarrassed by that, and it's like, yeah, you need to look at things like that and determine, like, do I want to be like this in front of the girls, Lena today, and then when Charlie is born? No. So Kia tells him
Right.
to man up, and that is what he needs to do. So
I agree.
I feel like
I
Cam,
totally agree.
yeah, Cam has enough good qualities to outweigh the bad, and he just needs to moderate the cups and know that he has to be accountable to people sometimes. Like, it's not always on some, I don't owe anybody shit and I can do what I want to do because I'm the daddy, I'm grown. Like, no, you need to act
And
right.
now, yeah, you have three people that you do owe, that to. You have a
Yeah,
wife, you have two daughters. Like, you do have people that you owe that to. So tighten up,
right.
Buttercup. Mhm.
So, they have a little small vignette with Cam and his sisters where they go out on the lanai, or basically that partial indoor outdoor space behind a lot of Florida homes that's completely screened in, and they live like right
What is
off
it
of
called again?
the lanai.
Okay. Well,
And
he said, well, we from it's called a porch. And
yeah,
I was like, I'm with you on that, Cam. Thanks.
yes, especially in Tampa, everybody has a lanai. But
Hmm.
he talks about the ducks being aggressive, and I made sure to take note of that because I had that experience where my parents lived down in South Florida. Like, there was some very like protective ducks and territorial ducks, and like I had one of them ducks chase me down to my car, girl.
See, it would have been a dead duck,
Girl,
period.
right. I'm like, y'all be letting this duck chase y'all around and nobody has kicked this bitch into the pond, but let me stop, child, for Peter be done flagged our shit.
Okay.
And then when they come back in, Steph talks about how she doesn't believe that Cam helped to decorate. She's like, this is some Martez Stewart. He's like, I don't know who that is. She's like, that's Martha Stewart cousin.
She crazy.
Right. I'm
I love
like,
her so
yes. Like,
bad.
why were you not on every episode? But so,
Right.
anywho, from there, everyone meets for dinner. So they all pull up at 7th and Grove, which happens to be owned by a Florida A&M Rattler. Shout out to FAMU.
Oh, shout out to the Rattlers. Yeah.
FAMU everywhere you go. So they head in, and the sisters get to meet Eris's dad, and this it's interesting because, Eris, before we get the full scenes with them in the restaurant, is talking to the cameras like, oh, tonight's the night that everybody finds out I'm pregnant. And I'm like, well, you really have to announce it because you looking real pregnant now.
Exactly.
But everybody is kind enough, I guess, to not make any assumptions because they're able to sit down, order drinks, talk about how they had the misunderstanding at the welcome home party. They acknowledge Cam is not ordering a drink. He got a little Pepsi, so he's trying tonight.
No ice,
which whatever, girl. I don't drink Pepsi, so I don't know what that means anymore. Don't get me wrong. I used to love a good Pepsi back in the day, but we let the pops go in the 2010s.
Period. Had to clear the skin up.
That's
honey.
right. Okay. Everybody says they're going to support his good efforts. The dad says, hey, if you got like a good fire that you got going, I'm going to fuel it, with a lot of hot coals. And, Steph's like, yeah, get lit with it. Just like, this girl is the best.
I love her.
But, just that fast, though. He shows his ghetto ass because Lena ordered a strawberry lemonade. They brought her a regular.
Which she did not. I heard her say lemonade.
Oh, I thought I heard her say strawberry lemonade. Girl.
Oh, okay.
But either way, right?
The behavior that followed was unacceptable.
Yeah, because from there now, Cam is yelling across the restaurant like, hey, sweetheart.
Hey, excuse, hey, girl.
And it's like, Cam, don't get ghetto over a strawberry lemonade. So...
And that's what his sister said. Like, don't be acting all ghetto in here. I would have got up and left. That would have been the end of it for me.
Okay, daddy is like, don't do all of that. And, Cam acknowledges, all right, like, check, you're right. I do have to be accountable to others, right? Because he says, wow, I haven't had to be a son in so long. And again, right, Cam, because sometimes we have to be accountable to other people. We have to show up in a way that looks good to our family, now our extended family.
Our elders,
yes. So,
and it's the little things like, nigga, not yelling in a fucking restaurant. When I go around my grandmother, I cover my tattoos. When I go to church, I cover my tattoos. Like, come on now, the settings, you have to adjust your behavior for the setting that you're in.
Right, this is a family dinner. Like, be for real.
Not the feds, bro, not the chow hall. You're not in the fucking chow hall. You're in a restaurant.
Right. So, Eris's dad in his little one-off says that, hey, Cam's got some good qualities, but he still feels like things could go either way at this point. And he kind of says something that Steph has said in the past. He basically says, he would hate to have to pull up. He's like, I don't want to have to come down here to, fix shit. So... From there, they announce the pregnancy. Everybody's excited. Like, Cam shows them. He takes off his top layer and he has on a t-shirt that has the ultrasound picture on it. They have some dessert. The family vibes are really great. Everybody's rooting for them. And, they end on a really high note. And I think that this is what everything we would have hoped for them,
Yeah.
The families coming together, everybody being excited about the future. So that's why I said, they were kind of the winners this season.
Yeah, but not when he did that in the restaurant. I felt bad for Eris. Like, and what Steph asked Lena, she was like, wait a minute, I got a little beef with you. Why you didn't tell me?
Yes. And she's like,
and she was like, I have your number. She was like, oh no, you need to get that. And I was like, that's that niece auntie bond.
Yes.
Niece and aunties don't keep secrets, honey. So I like that. I think Lena's, and then she was like dancing with them. We got to see a different side of Lena. Like, I think she's gonna have fun with her new aunties, and I think she's gonna need them.
Yeah.
And I think those aunties need Lena to what's going on in that house, and Lena gonna tell it.
Right.
So I would love to see like the relationships that come of this. Like I think they're gonna be good for Lena. Lena needs those aunties.
Yeah. Do you remember it was like season 1, 2, or 3, maybe only 1 or 2. they used to have like this like vignette between like the commercial breaks for Love After Lockup, and that's when couples that weren't on the show, they would talk about what they had going on in their lives a little bit. Like, I feel like they would be great for a little vignette like that, because we don't need you full-time Life After Lockup again, because that would imply that y'all have some drama, and I don't want to see y'all back on here with drama.
Right.
But you know, a little like, Life After Lockup, you know, a day in the life or whatever, and we just get to see a cute little catch up. I feel like Love After Lockup as a franchise, they're missing out on money by not getting more of these couples to like be on their YouTube or on another like social
doing a reunion.
Yes. Girl. You know, so it's like I want to see more of them, but just not on Love After.
In a bad way.
Right.
Yeah. That's the same way I feel about Brittany and Marcelino. Like, if y'all want to keep these TV checks rolling, cool, but just not on Love After Lockup. Like, I would like to see Brittany transition to like a TLC, you know, and do something over there. I don't know, but not under this. Go do something else. It's time.
Right. That's exactly it. So yeah, so that was them. You know, they wrapped all of the couples up. Starting from the top here, or at least the way I documented things. So Blaine is saving up to get his ankle monitor removed, and Lindsay, like I said before, wants that proposal by the end of 2023.
Or she's gonna do it herself.
Taylor and Chance. Chance is working, and the engagement is on hold, but they are living together still. Sarah loving her new tits, girl.
Me too, girl. I'm with her. It's a game changer for sure. The price went up.
Brittany and Marcelino have separated, and they are co-parenting in Florida. Like, that could have just been what y'all was doing to begin with, because
in Vegas, the fuck, y'all had to go across the country for him to still do the same thing. Whatever.
And probably need to go back to Vegas, because I know Florida expensive as the fuck.
Yeah. Agreed.
Justine and Michael's still making music, and the baby is due in July. Eris and Cameron, their baby is due in August. And then Amber moved back in with Queen and Puppy is selling her shit on Poshmark for rent money.
To pay her rent. As you should.
And
get rid of that shit.
Right, yeah, quite frankly. And then Monique and Derek, so they are in a long distance engagement, and they are slowly planning their wedding.
I don't want to see them no more.
I don't want to see them anymore either. I don't. I'm over it. It's like, it's just so annoying to know that they're using all the buzzwords, the buzz moments in life to try to continue to validate their relationship. Like, oh, we're engaged now. We're planning a wedding. Y'all have not had a great healthy relationship yet. Like, none of this shit makes any sense. So,
and I see why y'all be fighting. So, and your sister already let it out the bag that y'all not gonna be on no more episodes because y'all won't stop fighting. So yeah, bye.
Right, because what else is there to talk about if every time a camera's rolling, Monique is mad at Derek for having some sort of communication with some woman on his phone that he's not forthcoming about? That shit gets really old really fast. So,
agreed.
Elizabeth actually had a really good interview with Gio Malik on YouTube.
Oh, really? How did I miss that?
Yeah, it was really good. I don't feel like she really told any major different news, but it was just interesting to kind of hear everything from her perspective, especially now that the season is wrapped up. And, she talked about how they did all of this to try and kind of change the image of their name around Cleveland, because they were, associated with First 48, their mother being murdered. And this was an opportunity for them to be on television in a different light. And they did not go into it, wanting all of this beef and thinking they were going to deal with all of this beef with Monique and her family. But, the sisters had already been following them. And things obviously escalated very quickly once Monique got out. And there was, a bit of them being used, the sisters, Elizabeth and Aubriana being used like for storyline, to keep things going. So I think overall, Elizabeth kind of felt bad because she just didn't like this idea of being put on TV and feeling like she did something wrong.
She didn't do nothing.
Right.
They just messy. Shit. They ghetto and they messy. Right. And Monique had her part to play in it, and so did Derek.
Exactly.
Everybody had a part to play in the shit. It wasn't just her and Ariana. So
right.
No, she wasn't wrong. She didn't do nothing wrong.
Right. But she felt, that was really her biggest gripe. Like she was like crying when she, kind of made that point. And exactly what you said, right? Like nothing was all on you. It's not like you just hopped out and now all of a sudden you're carrying on. Don't get me wrong. The critics were like, oh, the sisters are ghetto and there's a lot going on. But ultimately, some of that shit would have never happened if Monique and her sisters didn't say what they didn't do what they did. Points were made around how like, why was Calandra there if they were supposed to be having this private moment? So yeah, it was a good interview. I liked it. I like Elizabeth. She's, still a star. She'll be around. Probably.
Exactly.
Longer than Monique and longer than Derek. So.
Agreed.
So yeah. So that was the end of the season. Overall, yeah, I don't feel like it was bad. Loved During Lockup. Coming back in July.
So we get a break.
We get us a little break. So yeah, for anyone that tunes into Jack of All Trades for the regular episodes, for those that don't watch Love After Lockup, I will return with some more episodes that go beyond reality TV recaps. So tell your friends. And, if you're on the YouTube or on social media, like, comment, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating. Somebody done gave me a bad rating, child. I don't know who. I don't know why.
Oh, what they say? These hating assholes. Right. Already.
I should just say it was like a 1-star, but I didn't see any like new like actual like review. So, we must be reaching more people. So, and it's all good. Haters are gonna hate. But overall, thanks for the love. Still great ratings out there on Apple Podcasts. Still got strong followings on Spotify, and the episode like views on YouTube picked up week over week as I posted them. So yeah, overall feeling good about it. Thanks for everybody that has tuned in. And hey, if you have a show that is not on right now, girl, because we taking a break for real, but something's coming back in the summer and you're like, oh my gosh, really want you to review that, let me know. I'll think about it. Won't make any guarantees, but let me know. And yeah, that's that for this season. So enjoy the break,
until July.
Yes, enjoy it. And until then, you take care.
Bye.
All right, bye. Thanks for tuning in to another Love After Lockup review. We appreciate y'all. And remember, I'm a jack of all trades, a master of none, not here to be an expert, just here to have fun. Bye, guys.